All right, that should have the current video link for those that want to do that. Otherwise, it is your old tube radio network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Hey, they're applauding for something. No doubt for those tube radios, the vintage glow-in-the-dark tube radios that will be parading by the Old Tube Radio Network here after the roll call. Looking at the REA modulation meter to make sure that I indeed have modulation. Looks like I do. So let's switch over to the other camera that might be that one there and say hello, everybody. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radio is going in the dark. Going in the dark, my name is Dennis, net control operator, adjusting the headphoniums. I'm tangled up in my cords here. There we go. It keeps pulling the J38 key off the air, but I think we are good now. Your tube radios glowing in the dark is what we are here for, and have been hanging around this frequency on Saturday evenings, channel 1127085 to experience the sounds of the 1960s and 70s on your CB radio, what it was like, the demeanor, and actually did have some fun. Actually had some fun back in the day, and we will try to recreate that tonight. If you're listening at oldtuberadio.net on the audio version, hello to you, and I think the video stream, it says it's beaconing somewhere, so hello to those on the video. Always make me straighten my tie here to make sure I look spiffy on the video side. Don't add pictures to radio. It just makes it a little bit more difficult. Starting with the SWL roll call, we will do that and commence to begin so we can get to the tube radios. It is week 6, according to my chart. Should be, if you're playing the home game, look for the 20th day of March of 2021. We'll see if 00 is around. Hello, radio.
00, checking in, Dennis.
All right, thanks for being patient. And we are up and running. And let me make sure that you get checked in. Yeah, it says it's checking in, so we're looking good. Thanks. All right, Jim up in Course Golden. We'll be chatting with him right at the end of the roll call. We get his regular number. SWL number 1 in the Cosmic Check-In. One of the gentlemen that came up with the idea that tube radio should have their day on the air. We have been doing it here for quite a while. Thanks to all our great collectors. SWL number 2. Looking to see if Mr. OBP is there. He may be hanging out. He may be sandbagging. So I will put a hold on that. SWL3, get a proxy check in for Rob, who is out somewhere. SWL number 4. And I'm looking over some of the comments. I don't have my Echolink device with me. I'm just seeing what 23 was talking about, but I will bring it. I will find it when we start doing the tubes and check some stuff out. Looks like we have an OTR conference. That sounds pretty cool. We'll find out more about that as we go along here for those that have the Echolink capability. SWL5, SWL6. I've got a pre-early check-in for SWL7, Mr. Ed. And then we head up to, I got to check my list. SWL 10. Let me scroll through. I see Dwayne in there, so I know Idaho is out there listening. So I will get 10 checked in. I'll get Chrissy checked in. I think we should have some promises of green radios because we are still in the month of March. SWL 13, and you can check in via the video, via the oldtuberadio.net on the Facebook page. I will eventually see that and get you marked in, or the good old check-in like the way we like to do it here on 27085. See if Mr. Cobra is out there. SWL 13. SWL 14. SWL 16. And 16 is there. In fact, Charlie was hanging out with us as we were testing, making sure all was going well, and it is so far. It's just if I can get into the air chair here in time. You don't see behind the scenes as they're pushing me down the hallway and putting on the jacket and straightening the tie. Probably like Johnny Carson used to do when he was trying to step out of the curtain on time. SWL 17. Shortwave listener 18. I've got to check in for Mikey. He is checked in via the Facebook site. And down there in the, not even in the front row, it's down below the footlights. There, SWL 19. We have a new light. If you're watching the video, I have a new light that's way far away, and it occasionally will just turn off. It's got some type of a motion sensing device, and if somebody walks in the right path, the light shuts off. So we'll see what happens. So far so good. I got to stop flailing around. It might turn the light off. And Chet has placed that perfectly for my key light tonight. So. Thanks there. So far, it looks pretty good. Anything that makes me look better on the video, I like. We've got SWL 20. I've got a proxy check, and we might be hearing Harvey on the crossband at some point. And back in his air chair tonight, SWL 21, Mr. JT, sometimes you just have to take a break from the action, but he was back tonight with... And I've never even heard of this radio. It was an RCA co-pilot 14T301 Zodiac, and the Zodiac Taurus was a reverse preamp. It is new to me. It showed up in the box when I purchased my other radio. It's the Cobra 29. So it's a 23-channel AM radio. I think it's the original Cobra 29, and it looks very similar to the RCA that JT was running tonight. Do I have any audio? Let me go to the archive. What was going on old radio night tonight? 10, 9, 8. Uh-oh, we got the countdown. 7, 6. I know what that means.
4, 3, 2, 1. O2 Radio Network. Just listen to the show. You can check in with Dennis to talk about radios. O2 Radio Network is where we long to be, to hang out with Dennis and talk about our old CDs.
I love original audio. Is that Crazy Man? Who does that? It definitely is the man, and might be a little crazy to sing about the old Tube Radio Network, but we will be checking you in tonight, so... If you got time before this net, check out Old Radio Night on a YouTube channel near you, on the Dirty Diaper 21 YouTube channel near you. And thanks for the original music. That's the only kind that we can play here without getting our wrists slapped by the YouTube police. Don't want that to happen. So 21, we got you checked in, and you were looking good tonight on the RCA. Over to SWL 22. And SWL 23, Mitch, let me see what is happening here. It looks like he has aligned the Starlinks to have, let me see if I can find a post here, an old Tube Radio Network up on Echolink. So I'm assuming that if you load the Echolink and you load all the nodes, there might be one that mentions old Tube Radio. And I will endeavor to, and it's a conference, great. So you can connect to that. I will endeavor to try to do that with my device here when I go procure it at the tube radio time. We'll see if we don't have a quorum of people. 23 is checking in from the Irish pub, drinking leftover green beer that they swear is just food coloring and not the water. There's probably a way to test that. You know those little paper things you stick in there, put it in there. If it turns green, it's probably okay to drink. And if your tongue turns green, it's probably okay to drink. If you turn green, it is definitely not okay to drink. He says he's turning a little bit green himself. All right. Well, Mitch, we'll check out. We'll be checking out the Echolink item shortly. Hopefully, I can get into that. And I wanted to say, DD21 says hello around the world. SW21 requesting a check-in and glad to be back for the show from North Charleston. So 21 and 23 checked in from afar. Let's try SWL24. SWL25, I believe I have a check-in for 25.
Actually, Dennis, I am here. Shaver lost their power today, so we're here live and well. Anyway, back to you, Dennis.
Okay, I heard you last night announce that there would be some fun and games up there in Shaver, so lost power. All right, well, at least they got to you before you drove all the way up there.
Roger. Anyway, yeah, that was, actually, earlier this morning, I guess they had some kind of a landslide or knocked power out. I'm not sure. But anyway, we're here and listening, and it's sounding good, Dennis. Thank you.
All right, likewise, sounding good as well. So take the evening off, but glad you are hanging around the old Tube Radio Network tonight. Thanks. Okay, looks like I'm bleeding. I'm giving up blood for the show tonight. That's a good thing. All right, next we'll head over to, we've got SWL 27.
Number 27's checking in via the FM crossband.
Hey, and I think I caught it tonight. I hear you, and you are worldwide on AM, FM, and who knows what else. Thanks for checking in. KB6G update.
Roger. KI6QL.
From the Cross Band Radio, Dwayne, SWL 27 checking in. If I remember, and it works, I'll try and link up off the crossband, maybe on the ditch banks. See if anybody's checking in on that one. We might have some worldwide situations going in tonight between AM, FM, 11 meters, 2 meters, Echolink. Who knows what that is, right? Let's go over to SWL 28. Gary, I know Gary is probably in there. I'll scroll around up and down and find your. I think I need a bigger table. That's get all these devices on here. Up there in Sacramento, Gary says, hello, everyone. 28 is checking in, just finishing the ribs, beans, and potato salad already in the green room. They've got a lot of good stuff. We'll find out what else they have tonight. Better let them in because they sound hungry. Yeah, that's, when I'm late, I come through a different entrance, so I think people are already in the green room. What they do, since I'm often late, Charlie and Chet make sure that the green room is open for all those who'd like to participate, and they don't have to wait for the net control to be tardy. All right, thanks, Gary. We're getting a check-in for Mr. Bill, Mr. Loner. That Bill. We'll get Mr. Bill here in a minute, SWL 29. Over to SWL 30. Dwayne is up and running. I didn't complete the saga of last week of the Robin radio. I wasn't clear if you got to keep the Robin or not. I'm thinking that you didn't. You had to give the Robin radio back. We'll find out. Hopefully it's still on the shelf somewhere. Over to SWL 31. let me switch over to the other item and see who all is out in the big picture tonight. Of course, Canby, Oregon, and Anoka, Minnesota, Belfast, Maine, or Derby, New York, the way it should be. Woodland Park, Colorado is waiting for some E-skip tonight. Was in with us early as we set up the audio. Hello to Kerbin, California, Fairfax, Virginia, coming up to you. Squamish, BC. I see the boys from Squamish are up in their spot. We've got a special spot with this vent so they can barbecue up there. So if you're up in the balcony, you can't quite make it to the green room, check out the Squamish barbecue. It's always pretty good up there. Hello to Moncks Corner, South Carolina. And see, the light just went out. I waved my hand around and it went out. Fresno, California, Dallas, Georgia, Sacramento, San Francisco, and there's a couple of unknown SWLs roaming around the balcony tonight. Let's go over to SWL 32. SWL 33 is myself and Bozo Control. Where is Bozo? I don't see that honking proboscis around tonight. We'll probably be back at some point, setting things up. SWL 34, I do believe I saw Mr. Railroader and Jimmy who's putting down one of the many Facebook pages, probably to jump in and say hello radio into the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Maybe he got in early because it's, in Chicago. What time is it in Chicago? Who knows? It's late out there. Anyway, Jimmy, I see you online. So we've got you checked in, 34. Looking good here. Over to SWL 35. That's Mr. Bill, and I think he said hello over on the other oldtuberadio.network page. Checking in from Cheyenne, where things might be warming up. I don't know. Such that they can warm up in March. Thanks, Mr. Bill, for checking in. SWL 36. SWL 37. SWL 38. SWL 39. 39.
Dennis?
This is the basic Dennis, over.
This is 131. I'm leaving right now. Okay. Put me on there because I won't be on when you get around to my number.
Well, it could be Tuesday by the time I get around there. All right, we will get you checked in. Thanks for waving a hand, and 131 is in.
Thank you.
SWL 39. SWL 40. SWL 41. Let me go over to the big board here and see if Road Dog 507 is around. Don't see him yet. I'll scroll down. If he's there, we'll get you. And indeed, there he is. All I have to do is refresh the page. That's amazing how that happens. And also, yes, I also see SWL 40. So we got Larry in there, and Road Dog checking in from Hudson Valley, New York, where it is later. It's later than you think. But thanks for. I always appreciate those on the West Coast that stay up late here to check into the Old Tube Radio Network. And Jimmy's checking in with the corned beef and cabbage, doing his St. Patrick's Day celebration. There's some green beer flowing around there at SWL 23, and I did a St. Patrick's Day show on Tuesday on the FM station. Got good 2 hours of some good Celtic tunes. So I think we're all set to go for the for the Irish Day celebration. Let's try SWL 42.
Yeah, you want a proxy in 42 in the gang?
Can do and will do. Get Jerry in there. Let's go to SWL 43. I could check in for Eddie. He might be listening. If you're listening, Eddie, we got you checked in. SWL 44. Got a proxy in for 44. SWL 45.
45. Sounds good tonight, Dennis.
All right, I'm trying not to break things. I'm still, as usual, I'm still figuring it out here. I'm trying to keep the lights on. Keep the radio keyed. You're sounding good. And I just see a post I missed from Chet. SWL 19 said it's 36 degrees outside in Derby, New York, and most of the snow is gone. Wait, I guess what's the melting point? I guess 36 degrees is too warm for snow. There's only some snow in the shadows, where it doesn't get the sun. Snow in the shadows. The radio room is nice and comfy thanks to the warm glow of the old tubes of the Lafayette HE20D. Where are the old Lafayettes? We used to get some of the old HE and what's the other one? The HA series, the ones that some of them were built by DeWalt. So at least Chet has got the HE20D, which is a very cool radio. Thanks, Chet. Got you checked in on that one. Let's go over to SWL 46. SWL 47.
Well, good evening, OTR. This is SWL 47, not in the radio lounge. We're in where are we? First and Ashland. We pulled over to do a quick check-in right next to Renna's Meat Market. We're in the mobile mode right now in a convertible with the top down. It's an awesome 55 degrees out. Perfect convertible weather and a perfect vehicle too, so you can stick this huge antenna out the top on the realistic TRC 217. But good evening to you, sir.
And good evening to you. You've got a great signal out there by Renna's Meat Market. That may be the only thing that's left in that poor shopping center over there. Great audio, and maybe you have the heater going. It is what is it? 60 degrees out. See a little. I'm looking behind me. See a little breeze blowing. So the wind chill factor on the convertible will definitely keep you awake. You are sounding good. And that may be our first, I think that is our first convertible mobile to check in ever. Back to you.
Actually, I have taken the Robin mobile in this radio, in this car before with the top down, but I haven't done it in a while. But no, it's just kind of out doing this and that with my wife. You want to say hi?
Hi.
And just thought, we'll go ahead and say hi from the car.
Okay, and hello right back. Sounding good, great signal, and thanks for being right there.
Thank you.
The old Tube Radio Network doing some paperwork, trying to get everybody checked in here tonight. And Boston 97, thank you. I've got you filled into the blank. The blank that should add your name on there. We will get you checked in. In fact, I've got another one just before you too that got penciled in as well. So get it in. Mobile radio check-in here on the West Coast, where on a Saturday evening in March you can put the top down and drive around and check into the old Tube Radio Network. You know it's going to be a good first day of summer. A good first day of spring when you can do that. And indeed, I think it is the first day of spring. The old Tube Radio Network, we'll have the radios coming up. Let's try SWL 48. SWL 49.
Hello, Mr. Dennis. Smitty here, the 49er, along with Sweet Country Mama, checking in. Sweet Country Mama's back at home here, putting in the finishing touches on this beef pot roast that I am very eager to get home to. But we hope everyone is well, and we are wishing you a very, very good evening, Dennis. Thank you for the check-in.
And thank you. You are sounding good. Great signal here into Midtown. Got an X in the square for yourself and Sweet Country Mama. And have a great feast out that way. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you. We sure will.
Then we're up to SWL 50. In fact, somebody said Friday night. Where is that monkey's uncle? We got to get his radios back on the air. Let's go out to Sanger Way, SWL 51.
SWL 51 checking in.
Okay, 51 checking in. Sounding good, Dave. I'm going to keep the radio keyed. I just got a note saying that 52 is going to try the crossband from the backyard. My antenna is very low. 52, give it a shot. Give it a shot. I'm looking here. The volume is up. I heard Dwayne. Let me turn the squelch. Can I adjust the squelch? No. I hate these radios for this. There we go. All right, the squelch is open. All right, not even a tickle. We tried, but 52 is out there. If I ever get my antenna back in the air where it needs to be on the 2 meter, it's down inside of a camphor tree, basically. We will get you checked in. Anyway, good try, Aaron, there from the Golden HT tonight. We got you checked in. And then over to SWL 53.
Hello, Dennis. 53 from the outskirts of Fresno. Bel Air checking in.
All right, 53. You're sounding good from the big town of Fresno.
Yeah, boy. Have a good one.
And we'll turn the page. And Creasy says, Dennis, when you watch back the video, watch the shadows behind you. I heard people talking about the cadaver or whatever it was in the back. So a couple of weeks ago, I watched it, and I actually saw it. It was like two eyes and some things. And there is wind tonight. There was a lot of wind today, actually. And there's some reflections. So I see some, over here, right? There's some things there, and I see some things up in there. And I don't know. I don't know what else is there. It's kind of scary. So I never look at the window, but I know everybody's looking past the window. So if you do see some nefarious thing happening on there, type in the comments and you'll see me run away out of the chair, perhaps. Anyway, I will watch that. See, there goes the wind now. It is breezy today. Got to check in for SWL 54. And my check-in-er isn't working here. There it goes. You know, if everything worked the first time around here, I don't think I wouldn't know what to do. Let me get page 3. Let's try SWL 55. And SWL 56. I even check if, do I have the APRS up somewhere? I guess I do. Let me see if 56 is out on the APRS. No, he's not even out there, so he's taken a break, which is okay to do. Let's try SWL 57. That is Mr. Brown Dog Audio, Central Kentucky. Keep an eye out. A lot of comments. I may have missed somebody if they check in early. I'll occasionally scroll through while I'm trying to do other things and catch you there, so not a problem. SWL 58. I'm on the wrong crossband for that guy, but I will get Jeremy checked in. SWL 59. SWL 60.
Thank you, Dennis, and evening time to all the fellas. 60, checking in, Big Jake's base, the 291.
And it sounded good. 291, the DX 2527, as always. Thanks for putting up with my sort of disjointed roll call here this evening. I need another brain and at least two more hands, I think. You're sounding good.
Thank you, Dennis. You're doing a great job.
And there's Levon saying, say hello to the RCA co-pilot for me. That was the radio tonight. That was a pretty cool radio. 23 channels. I bet it's, if you open it up, it'd be the same chassis as that Cobra 29, that 23, it's a 23 channel? Yeah, it's a 23 channel Cobra 29 that I've got. Let's go over to SWL 61.
61, checking in, Dennis.
SWL 61, Dean. At least we got your name right. I was talking to Ron last night. We were going through some of the old SWL roll call sheets, and one of them had you listed as George. I'm thinking, no, it was probably one of the net controllers got your name wrong, but we got it now. We got it right. It only took us about 30 years.
Well, good deal, man. Have a good evening.
All right, because we were thinking, there's only one Copenhagen kid. There was no, who is this George? Anyway, Dean always sounded good on a Saturday night. Let's try SWL 62. SWL 63. 63 is Butterbean. Was he out on old radio night tonight? If someone out there, let me know and I'll get him checked in. SWL 64. SWL 65. SWL 66. Better late than never. Levon, that seems to be my MO these days when I'm trying to do the old tube radio network. SWL 67 from Canby, Oregon. Bill in early tonight helping us set up and get things done here. Bill, thanks for listening in. Waiting for that short skip. So we can, if you got something set up there, maybe we'll hear you. Maybe you'll hear us. Let's go over to SWL 68. Shortwave listener 69, Kenny in Tulsa, Oklahoma, who checked in last week. Watching the video, saying hello to everybody. And Kenny, we're doing the same thing to you. Say hello from out there in Tulsa. Hope all is going well. Over to SWL 70. And DD says the O2A chip in the 23-channel RCA Copilot. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what the Cobra has. It's probably one with was that before they did unit and stuff? I don't know. All right, let's try SWL 71.
Let's try this again. K6USY.
Hey, all right. 71, Stan, I know you're there, but I'm going to put you on hold. Let's try this. I think, and I hope you are not. I hope you are not risking life and limb, like teetering up on the roof or something. I hear you. I hear you. KB6G update.
4 watts from a handheld into a diamond 2-meter 440 antenna, and I'm holding it up in the air with my other hand. K6USY.
Yeah, not bad. You're not full quieting, but you are, half scale. And I hear you just fine, and you were loud enough to grab my attention on the headphonium. So where there's a will, there's a way. SWL 52, the voice you just heard from his golden handy-talkie, I guess.
Yep. Okay, the antenna goes back in the closet. Thanks, Dennis. K6USY.
Okay, risking life and limb. Sounding good. KB6G update. From the crossband, Mr. USY on the Diamond antenna. I'm kind of getting a picture of holding up the rod and the handheld and doing the balancing act. Okay, so good deal on that. So let's see, 52 is officially checked in. He's over on this page. So I did put the X in the square. Then we're going back to SWL71. I bet, Stan, you have done similar shenanigans to get that DX contact. But stayed safe. Stan is in Dallas, Georgia. With a 4 call, I don't know what's going on in the amateur radio bands tonight. There is some probably QSO party from some state that I'm not aware of. So thanks for checking in, Stan. Over to SWL72. SWL73. And SWL74. I'm going to get 74 checked in since the Radio Shack is radioactive tonight out that way. Over to SWL75. SWL77.
Good evening, Dennis, and good evening to all the listeners. Everybody sounds great, even though the noise floor is pretty high on this end. But 77 on the Tower of Power in the Tower District, waving a hand and checking in.
Sounding good. My noise level was really high all day. There is still wind going on, as people can see the breeze blowing through the flora and fauna behind me. But when the sun went down, my noise level definitely went down considerably, and I had to open the RF gain back up. So it's not doing as poorly as it was. So you may still, and I was getting some of that, the power line stuff that happens. So it sounds like you may have some of that isn't going away. Anyway, you sound good.
Thank you.
Over to SWL78, who we heard. I think that the video was still rolling last week when 78, when Richard, we went to, I think we were on 80 meters, 75 meters. And I think he said he was at 50 watts, beaconing in here into the Central Valley, sounding pretty good from Wildemore last night. So check that out. We're at the very tail end of our video last week. And Wild, he's requesting a priority 1 check-in from the wonderful Wildemore. All right, you must have that hat that Radio Shack used to sell with the red flashing light on top. I think I see you out there. So we got the priority 1 check-in for Richard. Thanks for that. Let's go to SWL79. I'm pointing on the wrong stuff here. SWL80. And then we are going to turn the page. But before I do, a lot of people are inquiring what is happening. What is happening in the green room tonight? Well, the only way we know is if we actually go over to the Ohio and the Bob and Steve show tonight.
27.085 OTR channel 11.
So what is going on? The Jingle Singers gave a great show on stage in the Green Room Lounge for St. Patrick's Day. I saw part of that. I was cleaning up all the little green shards of whatever they did. They must have had some cannon that blew up this green confetti all over the place. Anyway, we got that cleaned up. They had an overflow crowd and had to put up tables and chairs out in the carport. I noticed there were fingerprints on the Buick. And there was some green beer stains on the cement. We got that all cleaned up. But as long as everybody was having a good time for St. Patrick's Day, and yes, indeed, a great time was had by all, we passed the hat and paid off the card. Who put the green beer in the hot tub? Don't drink the yellow snow and don't drink the green beer in the hot tub. The neighbors are all ready for the next party. It is just like the net. It just keeps getting bigger and better. Well, we don't want to get too big, lest we have the Fresno's finest out here with the curfew police or something. Someone left the St. Patrick's Day hat in the limo, 33. All right. I'll put it up with the rest of them. I've got some St. Patrick's Day limousines around here somewhere. At the bar tonight from ARCITY, Southern Fried Catfish. Is that an East Coast thing? RCD? I don't think we have that here. Southern Fried Catfish with fresh green fixins, homemade cornbread. And the drinks are on Bob and Steve tonight. Thank you, gang. We appreciate that. Hope everyone is having a good week. I think we are. First day of spring, and don't forget, I've got I'll have an audio clip of Don't Forget to Feed the Fish. I should have that queued up as well. Don't forget to feed the fish. Thank you, Bob and Steve. And looks like, I'm just checking. Yeah, it looks like they're giving some free limousine rides. So if you are don't have anything else to do after you check in, check out the limousine. I think they're taking it around the park down the street. And they don't have a convertible limo, but they do have the windows rolled down. All right, something smells like it's burning up around here. I hope we make the show tonight. SWL 81, page 4, Steve Areno in the super secret location, beaconing out. He's like Artie Johnson. Remember Artie Johnson on Laugh-In? He peeks from behind the little plant and says, "OTR, very interesting, but stupid." No, it's not. He doesn't say that. OTR is a good thing. We're going to have some glow-in-the-dark radios coming up shortly. Looking for SWL 82.
82, checking in from the Ditch Banks, Barlow. Good evening.
Okay, sounding good on the, what do they call it? What do they call it in 75 meters? Your low-level modulated radio. It's actually beaconing pretty good out here tonight.
All right, thanks, Dennis.
Station.
And the station, go ahead, over.
Late check-in 79.
SWL 79, Mr. DC. Flip the page over, and you've got the X in the square, over. Don't go away. Glow-in-the-dark radio's coming up after the roll call here shortly. We're on page 4, rounding our way to the end of things. All right, well, that didn't break. That was good. The mouse went flying onto the floor. SWL 83, where is Mr. Epimetheus? I bet you are on my list and have scrolled away somewhere. All right, I don't see you just yet. Sometimes you get in there early. Do I see an 83? It's like a auction. Do I hear 82? Do I hear 83? Well, I'll keep an eye out. Maybe I hear 84, SWL 84. Doing a good job last week. I'll get him proxied in. Might be listening. Jerry, if you're listening, we got you checked in. Enjoyed the radio last week. Let's go over to SWL 85. And we'll get all the gang checked in, 86, 87, and 88. That's Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl, respectively. There's Popcorn 913. Say hello to Popcorn 913. I didn't bring the bag of popcorn in because I will be tempted to munch on it. Sometimes that is not a good thing while I'm trying to talk a whole bunch here on the net. Over to SWL 89. SWL 90. Got 90 checked in. SWL 91, Felix, who is the first. I don't know how he does it. Did they give you the combination or the key? Maybe he's got the combination. He's always the first one in on the video chat. So Charlie and Chet must have gave him the key for that. And that's a good thing. Felix does a good job of making sure that all the video stuff is up and running. Got you in there, Felix, 91. Over to SWL 92. SWL 93. The proxy check-in for Louis. SWL 95. That's Warthog 95. If you're in there, I will get you in if you are there. And the station I keep forgetting every week, adding another dentist to the list. You can't have too many dentists. You know, they're not making a lot of us these days. SWL 96, that's out there in Kerman, Mr. Prune Picker, who, if you go back in the archives, way, way, way back in the SWL list, Dennis out there in Kerman, Prune Picker, was on the list, and he is back as SWL 96. So if you're listening, Dennis, or watching the video, or you're out there, say hello, radio, and we've got you checked in. 96, and there is 95. Thank you. You know, it's that short call. Maybe that's what it is. When you're in a DX pileup, the short call does good. When I'm looking for it on the screen, it's small. And I missed that 2x1. All right, I got you in there now. And also fixing my list for Mr. Boston 97. First day of spring in Boston. What is happening? What is happening out there in Boston tonight? Probably some great weather, just like we're having here in Fresno, California. 97. We've got you in. Thank you. Checking in. Looking good. Over to SWL 98. SWL 103. And I've not seen Mr. Cheesy E. I haven't even seen him on Facebook. I don't know where he's at. SWL 109. Shortwave listener 110. SWL 111, who sounded good. He checked in earlier, or he came by earlier, but I think he's still having a lot of noise out there in Reedley. So if you're hearing me, Bob, we got you checked in. And as always, you sound great on sideband, just flowing through. Must have a lot less noise on the sideband mode. So, Robert, you are checked in. SWL 113. Yeah, that's the thing. The Warthog 95 works good on the old Tube Radio Network. I don't know if that works good when you're calling CQ. When you're calling CQ, the Warthog 95, actually you might get some more calls if you put the Warthog 95 in with the CQ. I used to have a friend who he'd call CQ and he would say free lemonade. He would say, hello CQ, 40 meters, free lemonade. He figured out if he offered free lemonade. He said he got more takers on his CQs. Let's see. Let's try SWL 114.
114 checking in.
Shortwave listener 114, Rick Shawkid. Thank you, Wayne. You are checked in.
Thank you for the check-in.
And that takes us up to, I think we go all the way up to 128. And I don't even need to refresh. I did see John checking in. Early check-in, okay. Early day tomorrow, not staying up late. All right, I should have seen that earlier. I could have got you checked in. John is in Fairfax, Virginia, one of the many 4 calls that check in here on the old Tube Radio Network. We have good propagation into the 4 call area, and same way over the air. I'm on 10 meter AM. There are a lot of 4 call stations. Looking forward to cycle 25 opening up. SWL 131, Mr. Rude, as you heard earlier, getting a check-in because he was going to be away from the coiled cord microphonium. And let's Let's see, SWL 133.
Good evening, Dennis. 133 checking in.
133. Hello, Dave, out there in northwest Fresno. Sounding good in Midtown today.
Thank you, sir.
SWL 135.
SWL 135 checking in.
And 135 is sounding good. We've got you checked in. And did I bring the radio list out? Yeah, got a spot. Got a spot for a lot of people out here on the radio list tonight, which is coming up in a couple of minutes. So don't go away. Thanks for checking in. SWL 137, we've got to check in. And over to Tony, SWL 145.
Well, good evening, Dennis, and all the other patient people. Tony, 145 checking in.
145 sounding good. I've got your emails. I actually got the one earlier. I think it was one of the spoofs, the amateur radio spoofs, and I started watching it hesitantly, thinking, oh, these usually aren't that good. And it was good. I didn't have time to watch it all, but I watched the first 30 minutes, and it was pretty good. They put it together quite well. The guys were really good at explaining what they did, and some of the pranks were not over the top, but they were what you would expect, and some of the things that we have done ourselves. So thanks for that video, and there are some more that I will check out. But some good stuff. Thanks.
Oh, you betcha. Yeah. Do you know who Owen Garriott is? That's the other one I sent you.
I saw the titles come up, but I have not looked at them yet. Over.
Hey, Owen Garriott. Owen Garriott is the first astronaut to take ham radio into space. So it's a pretty neat video there. I think you'll enjoy it.
Okay, I will check that out. We often do kind of space-related things here, so we'll should be interesting. All right, thanks for the check-in.
Am I late?
Possibly. I want to say hello to Paul V. Hello and goodbye, who says Paul is having trouble tonight with the chat keep going out. I do not know what is causing that, because the window is looking pretty good on my end here. So maybe an internet connection thing. So if it's recorded, I think the chat is recorded. You can close it and reopen it, or watch the replay, and hopefully what you are missing now on the chat, Paul, will show up again, because that's what I have to do, because I missed a lot of it because I'm busy writing things down. I go back and then I think, darn it, I missed something, and I didn't make a comment on it. Let's try what is it? Page 2, SWL 37. Over.
SWL here, and good evening, Dennis.
All right, you are back in the house, as they say.
Yes, sir. I was next door, so now I'm here.
And sounding good. All right, go catch up on your stuff, and you know where the old Tube Radio Network is going to be.
Exactly. All right, be back, probably. Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Okay, back to the roll call. We've got a few more to do. SWL 147. Neil, are you there? Usually he gets in a little bit earlier, so I'll check that out. If I see you, we'll get the comment. We'll get the comments to go through. I don't see you just yet. There are a lot of comments tonight. There's a way to actually put them on the screen. I've seen it done, but I don't know if that would be distracting or not. So, Neil, I've got a proxy for you. We'll check in, and then where are we going? We're going up to 188 for Snow Beast Jr.
188 checking in.
All right, 188 for Snow Beast Jr. Sounding as good as you do on sideband. AM sounding good.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks for jumping into the old Tube Radio Network tonight. I'm starting to get that strange digital feedback that I got a couple of weeks ago. I don't know what causes that. It might be the thing in the window. I think it's the thing in the window is causing all this weird stuff. Let's head up to the guy that got us started off when nothing was broken. SWL 195.
195
95 checking in, Dennis. It's only dust in the wind.
Yeah, that's all we are, dust in the wind. I played that a few times at the campus radio station back in the day. All right, Jim, we got you checked in and checked in. Then where are we going? SWL 226. And I will get him checked. And I did hear just barely. I just barely copy him on sideband on Friday nights. Which let's see. Before I go, Friday nights, the Ditchbanks sideband net, that is 36 lower, 27,365. A roll call net on sideband here in the Central Valley West Coast at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. All are welcome. And if the skip is running, you will get checked in on Wednesday nights on your favorite amateur radio 10-meter frequency, 28,445 Central Valley net check-in there. They do have a visitors and whoever check in after the roll call there. So if the skip is running, we'll be able to hear you. So check that out on Wednesday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on 28,445 upper sideband. Okay. Anything else before we start up the tube radios? Okay, I will be back. I've got to run around, turn on some stuff for the tubes. I'm going to see if I can find my device for the Echolink link and actually find that link and see what's happening with that for Old Tube Radio Network on a conference. And we'll be back to do what we do best and do what we are here to do and have been here to do for the last over 35 years, and that is check in the glow-in-the-dark radios from 1958 to 1978, or a few later maybe. They stopped making them, but our collectors do quite well in making sure that we get a few on the list here tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network back in a moment. All right, looks like we might be up and running. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Yes, you can believe what X4000 and Stan Freeberg and Billy May and the orchestra say. This is the Old Tube Radio Network, real radios glowing in the dark. Despite my best efforts, we will check in a few radios tonight for sure, and try to keep it all together here. I hear some jingle bells in the background. Not sure if that's on my headphones or not, but we'll keep it up and running. Let me bring up the video, and we will say OTR is listening for radio number 1.
135, 135. 45.
25.
All right, I've got 3 right off in a row. Here's how we'll do it. I'll do an order of appearance. So radio number 3 will be Jerry, 25. So I can tell you're headed over into the green room right now. We'll be right with you. And like I said, it looks like they've still got some good stuff from last week. Take a ride in the limousine if you want. Next, radio number 2 will be Paul. That's Falcon up in North Fork. Paul will be right with you. But first, at what are we at? 9:14 Pacific Daylight Time. We will grab Green Arrow, Mr. Cliff, and see what is happening out that way. Over.
Okay, this is SWO 135 on the Spitfire Mark XL by Cordone or Cardone Import Company Limited.
Spitfire Mark XL. I have an item of interest here. Let me put it on the screen. It says it is from the collection of SWL 135. It is a quite green radio, green and black, Spitfire Mark XL, in the clothing of the, I think Mitch calls this the Panasonic chassis number 2. And is it an import? So is this an out of USA type thing? I don't know. It sounds very nice. Over to you.
Yes, this is my transcontinental radio. It's manufactured in Japan for Cardone Imports, which is in, I think, Ontario, Canada. And, of course, it's coming to you now from the good old US of A. It's 40 channels, 9 tubes, and looks for all the world very much like a Robin T240D executive.
It does have that similar look, the S-meter, the range expand. This one has a fine tune and a mic gain. I can't remember how many of those the 40 channels got the mic gain on the front, but a lot of them had the fine tune. Let's see if we can get a little closer shot. If I can find the right item. I think it is that one right there. There we go. Got the mod light. TX, RX. Yeah, it's definitely got all the lighting like the Robins did. I see what looks like a standard issue microphonium on the top of the radio. Not sure what you're using with it, but it does sound good and working quite well. S9 plus 5.
Oh, good. So it's putting out halfway decent power then, I guess, and hopefully halfway decent audio as well. Yeah, pictured, if I remember my picture correctly, would be the Turner 350 hand mic. I'm not using that right now. I'm actually on the Lafayette Range Boost desktop type microphone because the voting said that this was working better. Hey, you know, one thing I've always wanted to know, I really need to find a good picture of it, but the Yellowbird, does it have an RF gain where my mic gain is on this radio? You don't see that. This radio does not have any kind of RF gain. It doesn't have a switch or anything like that. But it does have a mic gain, which you pull out for tone. And I've actually tried messing with it while I was listening to you, and it really doesn't do anything to enhance the tone. It actually makes things sound thinner and a bit weaker. So I leave it pushed in where it's supposed to be. But do you know that? Do the Yellowbirds have an RF gain there?
Good question. You know what I can do, and we'll, for those who aren't watching the video, we'll let you know what we come up with. I'll go to the photo of the Robin T240D Executive, see if I get one. We'll pop it up on the screen, and let's see if we can see what that one is all about. If it will get up onto the screen. There we go. You are correct. There's a delta tune. They call it volume, squelch, delta tune, and where your mic gain is an RF gain. And then you've got the external speaker and the PA switches over on the very right side. So it's always a mystery to me on when Panasonic was saying, yeah, you can have this chassis and you guys can do it. Who got to do what? Who got to go inside and pull out what knob to the front? And some of them had less, some of them had more, as we just found out. Some of them had different. Take another transmission. I do have some interesting items from 23 Skidoo has come up with a little bit of information that you will like, but take another transmission.
Oh yeah, you use any information that I can get on this. I've never been able to find anything on the Cardons or the Spitfires. So it's kind of like the fan, and it remains a mystery. But I've always noticed that the physical similarities, outwardly with the Yellowbird Robin. But as far as the insides and everything else go, I have no idea. This is a 9-tube chassis. It doesn't appear to be any extra holes for anything. But again, I really haven't been able to find any information on it.
9 tubes, interesting. We visited that last week, where there was an 11-tube version and a 9-tube version on the Panasonic. And it turns out, like Madman Months, the 9-tube was, well, we'll just pull tubes out and it'll do the same thing, sort of, just be a less expensive chassis. If you want the 11 tubes, they want the extra 2 tubes and then go up to one of the other radios. So that's interesting. I didn't know they did that. We found some Lafayette's doing that. Okay, according to Mitch, Cardon Imports was in Windsor, Ontario, originally from Montreal, the Mark XL. I suppose if we really want to be, we could call it the Mark 40, right? Because L is 50 and X minus 10, so the Mark XL, the Mark 40 for 40 channels. It's a third generation 40-channel Panasonic chassis from 1978. And Mitch, what do you think? On the third chassis, would they do the 9-tube, 11-tube thing? Would they do the, take 2 tubes out, and it'll be a little bit cheaper or something like that? The 40-channel Panasonics are 9 tubes as well. So, all right. So this is probably similar to, what was the one we had last week? The 35 or the Panasonic, Comstat 25B or Mark XL, whatever. So this is probably more like a Panasonic than the Robin.
Okay, and yet again, outwardly it appears like a Robin. Yeah, it's strange what they did with all these. I seem to remember the fan end looks just like something from ECI, Courier, but you're saying it's a Panasonic chassis, and this looks like a Robin.
Comment?
Who knows? It does have all 40 channels, no waiting, and works well on all the channels. Range expand is on, mic gain is cranked up pretty high, and I hope it's sounding okay.
Sounding great in the Gold Tube Radio Network. Got a couple other radios in line, but working on this one. Sounding good. There's a comment. Let's back up the comment station. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dennis, can you bring up a T-Berry Model T? And that'll give you guys a look at the Panasonic chassis and what they did with it.
Okay, let me do that, because I have, on the T-Berry, I also have the 23, and I think I have a 40-channel version. So let me see what the T40 channel comes up with. Yeah, see, the T-Berry only has the 3 knobs. Like I said, some radios actually left out, sort of like they didn't pay enough money to Panasonic. They didn't get the range boost either. It got the lights, but it at the fine tune it stops, and where the little T logo is, there is neither a mic gain nor an RF gain. So interesting. And I don't know if there were 11 tubes or 9 tubes. Probably 11, but it's hard to tell. Back to Cliff.
Yeah, I've noticed that the T-Berries and the Robins all look very much alike, and this looks very much like them. So yeah, there was a lot of this kind of stuff going around.
And good deal. Let's see. The Cardon, according to Mitch, the Cardon and the Robin traveled together, so to speak. The original T-123 not B is the same as the original Cardon Spitfire, and the Mark II is the same as the T-123B, and the XL is the same as the 240D. So interesting. They're maybe the export versions. Or the import versions, I should say, just like Mrs. sort of following them around, and what works for yellow is very green on the Spitfire Mark XL. Radio number 1, 9 tubes, and that Panasonic chassis that sort of took over the world back in 1976, 77, and 78. But if you had one of those radios, regardless of what was on the front, the insides were very similar, and they all sounded great. So we'll go back to you for a transmission. We are archived, as you know. You'll be able to check out the very nice sounding audio from that microphonium.
Oh, well, thanks very much for letting me check it in. The Spitfire Mark XL or Mark 40. I've always wondered what I should, if I should say XL or 40. From Cardon Import Company Limited, 40-channel Citizens Band transceiver coming at you. Next week, I'll probably do something more non-green. I've been messing with my Browning Golden Eagle, so I'll probably check that in to make sure everything's still working. Until then, see ya.
All right, sounding good. I've got to do 2 things here. Thank you, Cliff, for radio number 1. The Spitfire Cardon Mark XL, or the Mark 40, or however you want to say it. Paul, step up into the air chair. I'm going to take a long transmission. 2 things I didn't do. One was introduce our sponsor and populate the pocket protector. This week the 2 radios are brought to you by Radio and TV Equipment Incorporated, wholesale distributors in Fargo, North Dakota. Good old Fargo, North Dakota, at 214 First Avenue. Radio and TV Equipment Incorporated, wholesale distributors. And they have a nice, all these pens are very nice. These pens from who knows how long ago are way nicer than the ones that come from Home Depot that look like they should be nice, but actually have no ink in them half the time. And then the pieces break and the ink blobs out of it. These things, there is no ink. I have no qualms on putting the pens into the seersucker OTR suit, thinking that I might get one of those horrid ink blob stains. Also, I wanted to say hello to Neil147, who was checking in earlier. Said there was an occasional Mexican skip, the taxi dispatches, which we hear here on the West Coast too from time to time, but not much else. And it says a local op shot skip and requested in Spanish a taxi for North Carolina. That's going to be one big fare, I tell you. They had a good laugh. So thanks. I'm glad I saw that. Neil. Okay, Paul, are you within the sound of my voice here on the Old Tube Radio Network? Over.
Nice pen. That was an interesting one. I liked it. Anyway, check in my General Radio Telephone Super MC11A.
It is a nice pen, nice yellow pen. They all have a nice solid feel to them. The plastic is heavy, and if there's some type of a ring or something, it's all metal. It's not plastic. So let's see. We are in. Let me make sure I've got it right. The Super MC11A. Over.
I'm using a CM-3 driver telephone microphone on the thing. It's got the logo in the middle of the microphone. It's about the same as the Turner 350C ceramics, but they had to do something to them. I believe it's up to the inside of these things. I don't know what they've done, but it seems like they pep them up a little bit. Back to you. Yeah,
it beefs them up for sure. Let me make sure I've got the right radio. It's the Super MC11A from General Radio Telephone. Over.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's correct.
Okay, I've got it up and running, and there is. Let me see if I get the close-up, and we'll pan up. We'll tilt up to the microphone here. General CM3. So that's how Chris runs his. He runs the stock microphone, and it just always sounds great.
This radio came with this microphone thing. I was real pleased to get it. They're hard to come by, I'll tell you. It gives me a good swing. It's really doing a good job on it. Back to you.
Yeah, General had these all lined up sort of like Browning did, where you can put a non-amplified microphone, and it will all be good to go. And this one is no exception. Take another transmission. I'll put in the S meter, and we'll see what the signal's like too. The audio is great.
Okay. It had a bunch of good features too. It had the tuner on the thing, which is great. Bass band tuning, and you could single channel the thing and VFO it to see if somebody's on frequency or not. Very good radio. One of the best. Back to you.
You can't beat them, and they are one of the SWL's favorites. When I go through the comments, the General Radio Telephone Super, especially the Super MC11, 11A, and the 12 get a lot of nice comments. A lot of comments saying, I wish that radio were on my radio desk. Radio number 2 for our collection that we're putting together here. We'll log in at 9:27, the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. And how is the receive on that? Are you picking me up okay?
Yeah. I hope I heard that. Did you say VFO?
Yeah, I'm just making sure that your receive is up to the task of your transmitter. If you're hearing me good, then that's the case.
Yeah, I could tune you right in if you're on frequency, and you definitely are on frequency. Some of those I have to tune this thing to get for it, but you're right on the money.
That's a good thing here at the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for bringing by Radio 2 and being patient with us tonight. The audio is perfect, and you will be pleased if you listen to the archives on how that radio sounds for basically an S8 or S9 signal well above my noise, but certainly not 20 over, even though it sounds like that in the headphoniums. Thanks for bringing it by.
Yeah, thanks for checking it in, Dennis.
The Old Tube Radio Network. Let me see. I'm looking to see if he's still joyriding in the limousine. No, okay, he's heading up. He's heading up to the air chair here, SWL 25. We'll have radio number 3, and we'll log you in at 9:31. Hello, Jerry. Over.
Hello, Dennis and Paul. If you're still listening, that's a loud radio. It sounds great. Anyway, I was in the green room so long I forgot what I was in there for. But the champagne was flowing, and the jingle singers are in a good mood. Anyway, Dennis, real quickly, I'd like to check in on the Crafters Citizens Band CB3A called the Little Phone with both of the extras on it. Has a meter on it, which is bouncing up and down as I talk, and also the VFO. And the secret channel selector in the middle. Oh, on the lower left-hand side has a on-the-air red light, and I'm talking on a non-powered D104. Back to you, Dennis.
Putting in a good signal here in the Midtown. Got the photo up for those who don't have the video portion. The Hallicrafter CB3A was 8 channels, or is an 8-channel radio. And they sold it base price of about $160. And then like a car, like a 1963 Corvair of the day, if you wanted to add some extras, you pay $20 here and $15 there, and they would add on an S meter that would be inserted into. You'd remove a panel that was up above the volume control in between this channel selector. I think you'd take the case off, plug in. There was probably a little place to plug in the S meter, and you'd affix it to the front of the radio, and you'd be good to go. And it looks like it's illuminated if the lights aren't burnt out. And then there was a tunable VFO, I think, that was on. I guess you could. I don't know if you could put them on either side or if you had to put. We'll find out. And it had a VFO, did the same thing. You remove the little panel, take the screws out, put the VFO back in, and put the screws in. So in our picture, the S meter is on, as you're facing the radio, the S meter is on the right side of your channel selectors. Yours the same way. I'm just wondering if you can place them wherever you want, or maybe that cable, whatever the connector was just long enough to put them in a certain spot. Over.
No, you are correct. The meter is on the right-hand side as I'm looking at the radio of the channel selector, and then the VFO is on the left-hand side of it. So you are absolutely correct, Dennis. Back to you.
All right, well, you have a true collector's item, the fully stocked Hallicrafter CB3A. Those can do some really awesome audio. I don't think they had a lot of limiters, and the filtering wasn't super heavy duty. I have one here courtesy of SWL37, and I've run it through the audio board before, and it's amazing. It reminds me of when Dennis does his Cobra Cam 88. It's just whatever you put into that radio, it's going to pass through. So if you ever want to do the audio thing, that would be a radio that would probably be a good candidate. Radio number 3, Hallicrafter CB3A, one of my favorite companies, mainly because all of my first radio gear was Hallicrafters, whether it was the FM radio, the walkie-talkies, or my first shortwave receiver. Seemed like that was what got me going as a teenager, and it's still happening. Back to you for transmission, and thanks for bringing it by.
No problem, Dennis. Thank you for doing what you're doing in O2 radio for what the whole purpose of it has done for the last 35 years or so. So, yeah, thank you, and thanks for checking in the radio.
Thanks for bringing it by. That's why we are here, because of our tube operators that keep us going. I am Mitch, if you're listening, I am working on the Echolink stuff here, and I'm having all sorts of network issues. That's on my end. And then when I did connect, I wasn't sure, because they give you in the Android version, they give you various options on how to do this. It's not as easy as the computer side. I can see what part of my issue was. I may go over to, I've got an idea. I may try it over on the computer. Anyway, let me stop talking and say we are listening for radio number 4. Looks like the Jinkle Singers are back from the limo ride.
how do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, for music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
The station for you is
OTR.
We're listening for radio number 4.
45.
Hello, Paul. I got so many things I can't find the key to the radio. Paul, yeah, step up to the air chair. You'll be radio number 4, and we are ready for you. Over.
Okay. My Regency, range D, Roman numeral 2.
Wow. All right. That has that has audio I remember from a Regency. And it's definitely a suppressed carrier. I'm going to keep the S meter up as you take a transmission, and I'll see if I can find a Regency range gain 2, which is basically the Regency Imperial without the product detector, without the sideband. So over to you on the Regency range gain 2. Over.
Yeah. That's mine. Mine's prettier than that one. Mine's cleaner than that one. That's a range gauge. Had 12 tubes in it today. 23 channels, AM double sideband with a reduced carryover thing. It done a lot to this radio just like they did on the Imperial, the big one that I just checked in last week. Well, the meter sure likes to swing with this thing, which makes it interesting. Thank you.
And that's the tube. The tube looks almost exactly like the Imperial. It's missing the crown. This one sort of, it's not a very good picture, I agree with you. It looks like it sort of fell off a truck. The Imperial, of course, has the gold surrounds. They put the bigger knobs on there. What else? It's got the tune. And the off switch is a switch. And the final, it looks like it has the final control. And it's got the three-way meter. I'm going to do a frequency check on you next transmission, because sometimes, and it sounds like it's off frequency, but a lot of times it's not with the suppressed carrier, because the audio is so loud. People think, oh, you might be off frequency, but I think it's just the suppressed carrier. Take a transmission, I'll find out exactly where you're at.
Okay. So I cut me off. I'm talking on a Regency microphone made by Shure. It's actually a microphone made for this radio company. Shuffle right out and saying everything. So it's everything is stock microphone again, which I like. It's doing a good job. Back to you.
It is, and you are very close to being on frequency, maybe about 400 cycles off, and it really sounds good. I went to sideband. I think I was listening to you on the upper side, and the audio is just super clear. Those were good sounding sideband radios as well. So that's your double sideband suppressed carrier. Lots of audio. I agree with Dwayne. I think it's the push-pull tubes, the 6AQ5. Is that what they did? 1965 is when this came out. So this, of course, predated the Imperial. I think came out a year and a half later. And this was $235. So it wasn't bad. I think the Imperials were about $60 or $70 more. They had an extra tube because I needed it for the product detector. AM double sideband reduced carrier. And the Imperial, of course, was double sideband with no carrier, but it had single sideband for the receive portion. Yeah, you're swinging good. I'm going to say you're probably all of what, about a watt, 3/4 of watt maybe when you key down, but certainly has a full audio and good forward movement on the meter. Over.
Yeah, interesting how you got to tune these things. I'm sure, well, you know about it. You should only tune them no higher than 2.6 watts dead key. So good thing about the swing after that. But it does work. So you keep it down there, the radio likes it. Back to you.
Yeah, on the right side, there's 3 controls or 3 screws, and one of them I think is the power adjust. And you can turn it up. You can make your resting carrier a lot more than that. But you sacrifice the audio. I think I did that one time on my Imperial to see what it would do, and it sacrifices the loudness on the audio. So you get your 3.5 or 4 watt unmodulated key, but then you miss the whole point of that radio with the suppressed carrier and the fact that they're doing the push-pull audio thing. So very good. Radio number 4, the Regency Range Gain 2. Basically an Imperial. It's also the Olsen sidebander and an Imperial sideband without the sideband, although you could probably go in there and adapt it pretty easy. You would have a receiver working, but at least your transmitter would drop out the carrier. It looks like it is in Sam's Photo Fax 13, page 135, if you needed more information. We'll go back to you for transmission, and thanks for bringing by one of the screamers of the mid-1960s, the Regency Range Gain. Over.
Okay, well, I'll be looking forward to archives tonight for sure. Probably usually keep it maybe for a day to get happy out of the thing. Thanks for checking in, Dennis.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR, go ahead, please.
Good evening, Dennis. 17, like to check in.
That is something I can help you with. When they trained me for this job, they said, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to want to check in. I said, what does that mean? And then they told me, and I have just done the check-in procedure, although, no, I haven't. I'm not telling you true. The full check-in procedure allows me to go to this screen where it says SWL check-ins, go to SWL 17, bring it up on the screen, hit a button, and it will say, indeed, that you are checked in.
Thank you, Dennis. While I have you here on the microphonium, might as well check in the Courier Royale.
And you know what? They also taught me how to check in the radios. So I will endeavor to remember what it is that I was taught on the OTR training school. From Courier, I'll run through the Rolodex here. Scroll down to the Royale. At least they put it in an alphabetical order. That really helps finding these things. And we'll put it up on the screen as we go back to you for a transmission over.
Yeah, put it under purple and gold. Anyway, thanks, Dennis.
There it is, the purple and gold. They had, where's my big picture? They also had a cover for that you get in the same colors. And I don't know if the Crown Royal, whatever, the Chef's Regal gave them rights to that or not. And I've got my weird, Dwayne, I've got that weird jingly RFI again. About 3 weeks ago we had that. I have no idea. Where that comes in from. All the audio things on the board are off. I don't have any weird stuff connected. It just happens. So I'm blaming whoever is peeking through the window for the RFI. You are radio number 5 with the Courier Royale, and I don't know, for knobs, it definitely beats out the Panasonic chassis for sure. Thanks for bringing it by. And I am still struggling with the Echo link here. I can connect on both sides, but then the proxy server doesn't come up. And I'm not sure. When I go to the conference things, I'm not seeing what I'm looking for in the conference. And Gary, we'll check the tires. Thank you, Gary. I will have them check the tires in the limo. Bob and Steve run a very, very tight operation. So if there's anything wrong with the limousine, like the tires got a problem or the hot tub is leaking, they will fix it ASAP. I'll guarantee that. Okay, I'm transmitting. Can you hear me? Wait a minute. How are we going to do this? All right, I know what to do. Can you hear me? Over.
Connected in the conference.
All right, hold on a second. This is the laptop, so I have that through the audio board, and if you can hear me, the only thing is I can't, it'll just be me. We'll try that. KB6GFD. It says I'm connected to you in the conference. Okay, I get it. Over. All right, OTR here. Let me try this. I've got the conference up. I'm going to make a transmission on the Echolink conference, and we'll see if I think there's somebody in the conference room. OTR KB6GFD is listening. Over. And this is probably going to be fun with the various delays.
SWL 91 and 2PFX.
All right, sounding good. I was trying to get this conference up and working on the smartphone, but unfortunately the smartphone is smarter than I am. So I went to the laptop, and at least that's connected. And then Mitch was able to get me linked up. My audio is probably a little low. If I'd known I was going to do this way, I'd probably have the audio coming in. But 91 is in. That's Felix. And it's good to hear you on the air. We got you beaconing through the link up, so perhaps in future episodes we'll have the conference up and running for those that would like to jump in the room and say hi another way. Back to you. Over.
Very good, very good. Thank you for all you do there. Wonderful show. It's nice to tune in every week. And I look forward to that. And to PFX.
Okay, and likewise, same thing. I really enjoyed the shortwave listeners, our tube radio operators. Obviously, since we've been doing this for over 35 years, it seems to work. And it provides entertainment and something to do on Saturday evenings, and really does give the flavor of what CB radio was and is and still can be. Thanks, Felix. Go ahead and drop the link now. And the other issue with all of this is you've got delays. You've got delays on the internet. You've got delays on the OTR stream, and you've got delays coming back. So as an operator, you really have to figure out, okay, which volume control do I turn up and which one do I turn down, and who am I listening to now? So there's probably a way to link this up. But in the meantime, for those that may be listening to the net and the program, it's a good way if you want to jump in and see who else is listening or out there. You can give them a shout via the Echo link if you are able to do that. Thanks so much. So I'm going to undo this from the OTR link, and we'll do that. Good to hear you, Felix. Thanks. KB6GFD. And hello, 37. Back to radio.
Yes, it is I.
7-3, a pleasure, and to PFX, clear.
I bet you are on the general radio telephone.
You would be exactly right. We're talking right now on general radio telephone, the Super MC11A. This is a 24-channel version of this one. They got more those. But and we're running here also with the handheld stock microphone. Over.
As was Paul, who checked in. That was our second radio of the evening, and he checked in on his general radio telephone, Super MC11A. And he was also running the, I guess it's the CM3 microphonium, and sounding quite nice. So it seems to be going around tonight. Take another transmission.
Oh, yeah, it's that good wet ground and everything from the rain we had the other day, so that's what's doing it.
I'm thinking so. And then we had the wind today, which just sort of blew some dust, I think, into the transformers and stuff, although my noise level went away. I know Dennis down in the tower was having the problem. I was having earlier with the noise, but mine has gone away, so that's a good thing. So we can do our radio. There's the Super MC11A once again. I guess you can't show it too much, and we'll go back to you for transmission. You are Radio 6.
No, I had the static here. It was really hard to hear when somebody on keel out here had a good 6S units on it, sometimes 7, so it was pretty bad. It's dropped way down now.
Yeah, same with mine. I've opened my RF gain up even more than I had it before, and it works pretty good. General radio telephone, radio bullhorn. Oh, there it is. Let me do the close-up. For those that don't have the picture, this radio has 4 switches on the front. It has in and out an NF tone. It has the local range switch, which I think is a switchable RF gain control. It has an A&L, in and out, which may, if you have the noise, you can keep it in or out, but it may, I don't know if it affects the audio or not. Sometimes an A&L will make the audio sound scratchy coming in. And then it has radio and bullhorn. Have you ever, my question to you, Chris, is have you ever tried out the bullhorn? Have you ever put there's probably a jack or a plug in the back to put in a speaker. Have you ever put the bullhorn out the window and talked to the neighbors?
No, but I accidentally hit it one time, and I keyed up in here, and it came right back to the speaker. Boy, it was loud.
Yeah, it's like, citizens, do not be afraid. Well, there you go. Anyway, well, at least you tried it. I want to say hello to Tim Tron from the mighty Pacific Northwest who's listening in on the radios tonight. Tim, I got into, what was it, the Northeast Oregon room, but that's about as far as I got. Let's see, I don't have the Wires X turned on yet tonight. We actually have an Echo Link up. We've got an Echo Link room going, and we do have here locally, just for your post-it notes, Tim, it's called the Ditch Banks Net. So if you look for the city, I think it'll show up as Kerman, and it'll be the only station in Kerman. It's a Ditch Banks Net, and that's tied to a local 440 repeater here. And we might be able to work on that one, or if you get in on that, sometimes it'll work for Wires X. But enjoying the videos. All right, Chris, you are sounding good, and you do have a radio on the list tonight.
Yes, and I believe that was Viola.
Well, there's Biola and Viola. I think Viola lives in Biola.
Possibility. No, I've been to this town before when I drove, so yeah, I've been to the raisin place.
Yeah, Biola is an acronym, BIOLA, for Bible Institute of L.A. Coming up, it's almost 10 o'clock. The weird RFI, again, is happening. Oh, let me try something. Let me get rid of that. Is that it? No, it's not coming through the audio link. I have no idea what link that's coming through. I remember last time I couldn't get rid of it, so it's a weird thing. Anyway, we'll check in radios as they come by, and the Echo Link is up. I think after I get off tonight, I might jump into the Echo Link conference room for those staying up late, and maybe we'll put on the Wires X. But in the meantime, we're looking for, thanks, Chris, we are looking for Radio 7.
You bet.
60. Break OTR.
All right, I've got two stations. We'll take 60. You will be Radio 7 coming up next, so jump into the air chair. And the break OTR, I take it you have a radio. Over.
Good evening, Dennis. Yes, that's WL17. Would like to check in the two-piece Browning R27 S23 radio combination.
Okay, good deal. I kind of got the clue when I heard that ping. You will be radio number 8, so jump into the green room for a moment, and we will be right with you, Eric. Stepping up into the air chair now at, what do we call it, 9:57 here, West Coast, Midtown, Fresno time. Hello, Joe. Take a transmission. Over.
Thank you, Dennis. Doggone it, we want to check in our Johnson Messenger 223, our little 10-tube, very simple radio, nothing more than a volume and a squelch knob. Very well lit and listening to your transmission.
E.F. Johnson, of course, knew what they were doing. They making radios for a long time, actually making a lot of transmitters. The boat anchor transmitters of high power and great weight. And in 1958 or 59, when the Class D Citizen Radio Service came out, they sort of had to scale things down a little bit. Go to the 5-watt DC input, crystal-controlled, non-hobby type communication, and they came out with what they called the Viking Messenger. The Viking was sort of a name that they had used for their amateur radio endeavors. And it was a good radio. They had versions of that, 6-volt, 12-volt, 115-volt. They had a 10-meter version. Then they came out with the Messenger 2, some upgrades, more channels, probably a little bit better noise reduction. And then they came out with the 223. Let me switch the picture here because that's what we're talking about, because that's what you're on. And that was the Messenger 2. They added all 23 channels, the S-meter. Like you said, they kept it simple. This was Citizens Band, but you had to communicate. You needed a high-quality transmitter and receiver, and they gave you both of those in this radio that sold for just over $200 from about 1968 to 1971 or 72. Take a transmission.
Yeah, doggone it. We know what you mean, and I personally own a Messenger 2, a Johnson Messenger 2 that I'm rebuilding right now. I've got tubes on order. I hope to be as happy with it as I am with this one. Nothing in the back of this radio to speak of. There's no jacks, no headphone jacks, nothing to show for, just the front and a good solid radio. I'm very happy with it.
As well you should be. It sounds good, good solid radio. Again, if someone is looking for their first tube radio, something that'll be reliable, that isn't difficult to operate and should fire up all the time. There are quite a few, but here is one of them, and we're listening to it right now, the Johnson Messenger 223. The 223, especially because it has all 23 channels, doesn't go up to channel 40, but 23 channels is good. It's got the S-meter, and it allows you to run any type of microphone. Amplified or not, works well without an amplified microphone. It's got a good receiver and some good quality audio through that front-fired speaker. So a good way to get started. Plus, it looks cool, and I know you know it looks good sitting there on the desk.
Yeah, you're right about that. It is a good-looking radio. I look a lot at the front of it. Kind of reminds me of an old car, and I can't think of what car it reminds me of. But this one is on the original desk mic. This is the Johnson microphone. We have it now hooked up to this radio. So to complete it out, and doggone it, we're proud of this unit here. Okay, Dennis, thank you for letting me check it in.
Comment? And Radio 8, thank you. Thank you, Radio 7, the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. Radio 8 stepping up into the air chair, and the comment, go ahead.
What tubes are you waiting for?
Are you still there, Joe? Did you hear the question over?
Oh, I thought he was talking to you. Go ahead.
What tubes are you waiting for?
Oh, I've started buying some tubes from eBay for this old Johnson Messenger 2. Maybe you can help me on it.
Just let me know what tube numbers you need, and I should have them.
Okay, Harvey, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'll do that.
Okay, and Dennis, check me in, and let's see, check me in, 2954, and this week, number 56, just for kicks.
Okay, yeah, he was missing. I didn't even see him on the, in fact, I'm going to check again. I didn't see him on the, don't go away, Eric, we're getting to you. I wanted to see if he's on the APRS, because sometimes I see his little running man. No, he's not even there. All right, we'll do that you'll be Radio 9 because we're about to talk to Radio 8. And the fans of the Browning, I almost had to pull out the ever special copy of the Espresso Trucking Company singing about the Browning Eagles, because we hadn't had a Browning yet, and now I think the Eagles have landed. So you've spared yourselves from some music, I think. Anyway, I'll get that checked in and all the other things in check. And I had the crossband up, but I didn't have the audio up. So if you tried to call me on that one, I apologize, because I think I turned the sound down. Too many knobs around here. All right, let me go over to the very patient Eric, SWL17, here at 10:03 now. It was in the before 10 o'clock when he actually checked in, but now that we're checking in. Hello, Eric.
Interesting receive conditions on my end this evening. And anyway, hello, Harvey. Thanks for the long ping on this old Browning here, R27S23.
The first of the Browning radios to wear the moniker of Eagle. Not a Golden Eagle or a Mark, but the original Eagle. Some people, this is their favorite setup of radios. When it comes to which one is your favorite, this one does score well it should. Sounding great. And you have orchestrated the ping quite nicely. Back to you.
Thank you, Dennis, and love old tube radios.
Who was it? I think Joe mentioned like the old automobiles. There is something about them, and it's a total thing. It's the aroma, right, as the dust burns off the tubes. It's the knobs that are just like the giant knobs that poke your eyes out in your 1965 Chrysler. It's the lack of safety features. There are no airbags. There are no safety feature airbags on an old tube radio. It's just the way it is, and you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful when you are playing around, especially on that one. When you're playing around with that microphonium plug in the front that's got, all of like 85 volts. If you touch the wrong wires, you got to be careful. But that's why we love these radios. Radio 8, the Browning Eagle, R27S23 combination, and as you heard moments ago, Radio 9, the Browning Golden Eagle, so that would be the next radio. That was the radio right after this one. It was the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68 combination on your old tube radio network. And the jingle singers are pointing to the clock and saying, we would like to sing our ever-popular item that we often do, where we talk about being modern on the old tube radio network. Are you ready? Well, unless you are standing at the microphone, I can't turn you up. All right, there they are. They are cooperating on the old tube radio network.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
Counting and amounting and looking for Radio 10 if it's there.
Question?
This is the question frequency. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I think I just answered my first question. Where the heck did my ping go? Hey, so there was a Browning R27S23 that just got checked in. I'm curious, do we know if that was a Series 1 or Series 2?
Oh, that is a good question, because there is a difference, I do believe. Why, this jingle bell ringing is driving me nuts in my headphones, so hope it's not messing people up. I was looking to see if I had the scoop on the difference between the 1 and 2, which I do. The Series 2 larger meters, neon modulation indicator, and lighted on the air light. So basically the lighted on the air light and the neon modulation. So if you're listening, Eric, on some radio, chime in at some point. But I think we have Radio 10, so let's talk to Radio 10 and find out which one you are. Over.
Okay, well, this is a Browning R27S23, and this is the Series 2, which I think one of the major differences, and I just don't remember being aware of this until you had pointed out recently that I think the Series 2 was the only R27S23 that actually had this really ginormous on-the-air lamp on the transmitter. On the very, very, very right-hand side is kind of peculiar. I think, unless I'm mistaken, a lot of these Browning radios have their on-the-air lamp. It's kind of, I guess, mounted horizontally and pretty small too, I might add. Well, this one on the transmitter, the window is kind of that's a rectangle, and it's kind of mounted vertically. So I don't know if that's unique just to this particular radio and the Browning lineup. I don't know. You know, it's big. The on-the-air lamp is big. It's kind of cool. I think I've commented before that it's interesting how the three words on the air are not they're not perfectly horizontal. You know, they've got a downward slant to the right to each one of those words. So someone was, I guess, feeling rather stylistic when they designed that.
20.
Yeah, 20. Would you like to make a comment? Over.
No. Want to check this radio in eventually.
Okay. All right. Well, it's got its little brother checking in now. One of the Brownings. Boy, the Eagles have landed for sure tonight. And there's something about the ping on the 20, and we're demonstrating this here on the Eagles. The R27S23 seems to be less screechy. And that could be, let's see, because the receivers are different, right? You've got a different size speaker on those receivers. I think they changed the receiver on the Golden Eagle. So that could be part of it. It could be part of it, just the way they have the receiver and how it hears its own self coming back to it. But I always notice it seems like they're a little bit more mellow. They're a little bit easier to orchestrate to keep from being screechy or whatever. I guess it's all in the ear of the beholder. Speaking of screechy, Korea's Cool says your jingle bell sounds like a reverb string. Yes, it does. That's why I was looking at some of the equipment back here to find out what was going on, but I don't know. So back to Michael, Radio 10. Take a transmission. It's working great. I don't think you need the tubes are good. If everything's lighting up, your radio passes with 100% tonight.
Oh, good. You know, I'm gonna ask you a question about this radio that I don't recall if I've ever asked you about this before. On the R27 on the receiver portion of this combo, I noticed that there is something that probably at one point in time it said lock set. There's a little teeny screw. It looks like it's almost like a set screw right in between the what looks to be like a fixed and manual function switch and the RF gain switch, which is in the lower right-hand portion of the face of this radio. Anyways, there's a lock set, and I'm curious, do you know anything about what that bad boy does?
I'm sorry, that's on the transmitter or the receiver?
That's on the receiver.
All right, I just went into the larger mode here. I am like the worst person to ask about Browning radios, because I did not own one until very, very late in the game. Whenever that's to keep something from moving around, since you do have a your lock set, you do have a tunable receive via phone. I wonder if it was a drag or something on that. Harvey, I don't know if you heard that question or you could elucidate about the lock set control or button on the receiver. Over.
What would you like to know?
If one has a lock set on their R27, what would that lock set to benefit? What would it be doing for them?
Your receive. What did he say?
I think he said it sets the receive. Is that how so?
Okay, what it is a little variable tuner, a little capacitor, and it's kind of like the one up on top. And basically, you tune it until you hit the channel that you want, like 11. And since it's recessed in there and a little harder to turn, you got to use a little screwdriver, it basically stays. And that's what you use it for. You tune a single channel with it. And that's what it was designed to do in the R27 and in the Golden Eagle and in the, I don't have the Mark II here, so I don't know. It's got something similar, I think, but that's what it's for.
Okay, so say you would go to your main knob and get it to, if it says 11 or 27085, and put it right in the window where you would like it. And then you would figure out, get another, somebody that's right at 27085 and use that lock set to make sure that it's peaking at that point. Am I understanding this correctly?
Well, you go to fixed and you hit the spot on channel 11 on the transmitter, and you tune that until it spots as far up on the meter as it'll go, and then you've lined up the fixed receive on channel 11. A couple other radios have something like that.
All right, so I still don't understand. What is the lock set doing? If you have a main tuning knob, that's what you're doing your spot with. So what would you need the lock set for?
So that if you're listening on 11 and want to go to your other favorite channel, like 20, 22, 17, whatever it is, you use the lock set to put it on that, and then you can click over to that one, here 17, 20, 22, whatever, then go right back to 11.
Can I clarify?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Harvey, let me just, I might have put these two pieces together. I could be grossly wrong on this. So the lock set on this receiver, I could go with manual received or fixed receive. And what am I always on? I've got to be on, I always do this on manual receive. So the lock set is only, correct me, this could be, I guess it's a yes or no question. The lock set is only going to be basically active when this is in a fixed receive mode, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so back in the day when this radio was popular, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, so you could very quickly bounce back and forth between two different, listening to two different channels, basically just by using your function switch that is, it's a two-position switch, fixed and manual. Is that correct? Again, you would essentially, I guess, your Dennis or OTR, like you were talking about, your big, huge receive knob, that you've got on the radio, that's going to be active in the manual tuning mode, and then you could very quickly just flip that switch into fixed mode, and then have that receive on a different one. That's confusing. I guess if you were like a serious CBer, that might be something that would be handy. But boy, that's that's a little over my league, I think.
Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be for. Plus, when you go to fix, the channel light on the receiver goes out, so that you're supposed to know that that's where you're at. That's the way it operates, or supposed to operate. However, on the Golden Eagle that I have, that's not how it operates on mine. Mine operates differently.
I have a question. Eric, are you in there?
Yes, I am. And the lock set for me on the R27 works in the manual position as a VFO. So whatever your manual or special station or whatever that is, you hit manual, it goes there. That's the way I understand it, and I have it set so I can go between fixed and manual, and 11 receive is the same. The light does go out when it's on fixed versus manual.
That's correct. But on my Golden Eagle, that's the way it's supposed to operate, just like the R27. However, someone made a modification to mine before I got it, so you'll love this part. The lock set is set with, I think, a crystal, so that when you, somebody rewired the switch so that when you go to fixed, it operates like a Mark III with the high frequency. You take the lock set and you tune it so channel 1 becomes 24, and then the manual dial up above, the light stays on, and you tune up, and you get all the channels above 23, just like the Mark III would do with the HF kit in it. Somebody did that to this one that I'm talking on, but not the one sitting right next to it that looks identical. That one works the way it should. Anyway, I didn't know that at first when I got this, and I was going, that darn thing doesn't work right. And then all of a sudden, I noticed that the main dial was also off when I went to fixed. So then I saw what they had done. And I kind of like it, because I never used fixed for a separate channel, and I don't set it on 11, because if I did that with old tube radios on OTR, people are not always on frequency, including myself. So it's good to have the manual dial. But that's what they did to mine.
And just for giggles, you'll notice there wasn't any ping, same radio, using the headphonium connector in the back. You get rid of the big old speaker for that great audio on receive of the receiver, and the Eagle has landed without the ping.
Oh yeah. I remember in the old days when I had the Mark III going, people would say either lower the volume when you key up or put some headphones on. And I never did that.
Okay, I know more now because I don't have one of those. So hopefully that helps you out, Mike. Over.
Yeah, it actually does, and then some. I have to tip my hat to that other gentleman. I had absolutely positively no clue this Browning, or that Browning, I should say, because I've pulled a fast one. I've switched to another radio. That if you want to put a check in the Robin column, I'm on my 123. But I had absolutely no idea. I don't. Well, I'm embarrassed to say I don't look at the backside of these radios as much as I should. But I had no clue that had a headphone jack in the very back. This Robin I'm on right now does in the front of the radio. So of course I've known about that, and I think I used it once or twice. But I had absolutely no clue that my Browning had a headphone jack in there. So I'm going to try that, and that was rather strange, hearing the other Browning there without that ping. That's kind of cool. I didn't. It's interesting if you think that one through, but no, that's cool. No questions. That's nice. Well, actually, I lied. Harvey, so when I'm not fixed, when I'm in manual mode, my channel selector on the receiver, if I'm trying to listen to everyone on 27085, the channel selector window is on RC, so it's halfway in between channel 11 and 12, and it looks like on the frequency side of that selector it's 27095, I think it is. If I'm wrong, that tuning pod or the way to tune that receive dial, I'm talking about the big one, that's on some sort of a tuning pod or something that's, if I take the top of the radio off, it's towards the front. If I'm looking down into the chassis, it's on the probably close to the front of the radio on the right side. Is that correct?
Right below just to the right of the tuning condenser, the tuner. It's a tall, wire-wound inductor, and in conjunction with a ceramic trimmer cap. Now, the way those things are set up, you have to adjust both of them, and it works together so that channel 1 would line up on 1, and channel 23 would be around 23. However, if you just use 11 a lot, you can move one or the other to line it up. Of course, 23 might be a little off as far as on the dial, and 1 might be a little off. But if you're generally listening to 11 all the time, then tuning either one will work. Now, the inductor needs a plastic tuning tool to go in there. You don't want to use a screwdriver of any kind. You might break the core that's in there. But you can use a screwdriver for the ceramic trimmer. And you might have to tweak it a little bit back and forth because the screwdriver has a capacitance effect, and when you set it perfect and then lift off the screwdriver, it moves a slight bit, but not a whole lot. I generally set it right between the 1-1, and then if it moves a hair, that's fine with me.
Okay, I got it. Well, unfortunately, the ferrets over here got to all of my plastic screwdrivers, but I promise I will kind of try and tune that up with the bottle of Windex. Windex does wonders on those Browning radios. It's just amazing what it does. Haven't used it on this Robin, but I will get to it. I promise on that R27S23. So thanks, OTR, for letting me check both these radios in. Appreciate it. Everyone sounds great. And on that, thanks for the info to SW20. And I'm bidding everyone a great evening. 73.
I'm sorry, I got to key up real quick. If you try it, moving the ceramic cap, turning it, if it doesn't seem to move, I mean if it physically moves, but nothing happens as far as changing the receive dial, then that cap is bad, and they do go bad a lot. It's a 3 to 12 picofarad, and I've got a few around here, and I can buy them, so that's not a problem. But the tuning inductor, the tall thing, that generally never goes really bad, but you got to use the plastic tool for that. Anyway, I'll let you go. We'll be out, or waiting for Dennis to call me.
All right, yeah, this is the plastic tool frequency, and let me just double check the mic. You are finished up on the Robin. You finished up on the Robin T123, no B?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's correct. No B on this one. Just my. I almost want to say it's my favorite one because it's my. It was my very first one. I don't know if that's the reason why it is my favorite. This one I've taken it on many camping trips, and it's got the magic eye. So maybe that's why I've got a special place in my heart for it. But yeah, it's the 123.
All right, very good. That's Radio 11. Wanted to get that in there. And before we signed out here, I just want to let the talk go because it is kind of interesting. I didn't know anything. So if somebody was to jump into this video at some point, they would be able to actually glean some information on the Browning and that little control and what to do and what not to do. So that's why I wanted to make sure this got archived on the audio portion, even though it is a little bit late. All right, very good. Thanks for that, Harvey. Thanks, Mike. We got you checked in. Thanks, Eric, for your input. And I want to see if there's any other items of interest before we sign out.
I didn't check in my radio.
Well, wait a minute. Yeah. What radio do you have? Over.
The Golden Beagle.
All right. What did you check in previously? Oh, previously you checked in the Golden Eagle R68T68. Am I correct here?
No, I just keyed up to make a comment. And I think you made me number 9 or 10 or something. I was just making a comment. I was waiting for the official radio check-in.
All right. Well, you are officially 9, but I wrote the wrong thing. So that is the Beagle, which you are on now. I should know that ping by now because your other devices have a little bit different musical footprint to them.
Of course, I could always do that.
You could really confuse net control. All right. Well, you are checked in as Radio 9 officially on the list, such that it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you much. And this was my work night up in Modesto, Turlock, but I got done early, excuse me. So I got to get back. Okay. I'll let you go, and I'll be back next week.
All right. Very good. Do some counting and mounting here. I think I'm ready to close out the net. We'll probably have, it looks like the Echo link is still up, and I'm going to try and jump in on that after I sign off here, and so I can answer a few questions that I have about that and see how my system is working. And I still don't know how one connects to that. If you're looking for a conference, if you're looking for a call, that's why the other radio is just like the device is not finding anything because I don't know where to look for it. So. But the computer is the old system, which makes sense. The Android stuff is really weird. All right. Anybody else for the old, as Jim would say, as number 1 would say, for the old tired tube radio network? Over.
Dennis, I've got 160. I'd like to check in my Robin 123B, my little special edition here with 39 channels on a lollipop.
Yeah, hey, I like the audio on that. That's going to be Radio 12 here at 10:32. I'm glad we gave you enough time to warm it up. And as you take another transmission, I think I have the, what do I have queued up? I have the 123 queued up. We'll go over to the 123B on the picture. Take a transmission.
Thank you much. Yeah, she really got warm, and I really got confused about those eagles. In fact, I'm still thinking about it. Thank God we got nothing like that here on this end. We're confused with this one as it is. I've been talking about the front part of it. The back part also has quite a bit back there, the tune, the plate, and also has a jack and a few other things, even meter adjustment. But we're going to deal with just the front end. We know it's late, and we just wanted to be sure to check it in since we had it good and warm.
Sounds good. I really like the audio on that with the D104. And it was kind of nice that they gave the operators access to those controls on the back, so you didn't have, for the tune and load, you didn't have to take the radio apart. And it's actually much safer to do it that way. And then this, I guess this is version 2 of the Panasonic chassis, because it's a 23-channel radio. And it has the RF gain rather than a mic gain. But an RF gain is a good thing. I think having an RF gain on a radio is very helpful when things are noisy. I use it a lot here, and I'm surprised they didn't include it more in the radios. But again, they probably just thought it was another knob that might be confusing. But talk about confusing, right? The last 15 minutes of what to do with your Browning. But I think we've sort of helped alleviate the confusion on that. Your Radio 12 sounds good. We've got a picture of it for those watching the video. Another nice green robin. The range expand. Oh, do you have the range expand in or out? No, it's called on or off. Do you have the range expand on or off? Over.
I think I have it on, even with this lollipop. Let me turn it off. There, I don't know if I have to unkey, but that was with the range boost off.
No, you do not have to unkey, and that was a great demonstration. Indeed, you've lost, I don't know, 40% of your audio. I still hear you just fine, but you are certainly not 100% modulated. So range expand back on, and I think you've got everything adjusted for it to be on.
Yeah, we got it back on, and got plenty of swing on it. The old modulation light is going kind of crazy, but then it goes crazy with you talking. I've noticed that you even make my modulation light flicker with that audio of you got. But anyway, thanks, Dennis, for letting me check this one in, and we'll keep it right where it's at.
All right, and that is a what do we call it? A feature or a failure? It's not a failure. It's a feature on some of the other chassis. I think Chris has one that does that. He says when you talk, it blinks the mod light a little bit, so there could be enough bleed through, enough voltage or whatever it takes to go in there and blink the light a little bit. So I think that's one of the Panasonic chassis things that they do. Thanks for Radio 12, the Robin T123 Bravo, and it'll be interesting. I had to do some counting and mounting. It'll be interesting to see who the most heard manufacturer was tonight. Thanks for bringing it by. OTR counting and mounting.
Well, let's add one more to the bird fight for this evening. I wasn't going to do this, but since there seem to be so many radios that have some sort of a connection with birds, why don't you just put one more check, please, if you don't mind, in the Robin column for this 123B is in Bravo.
Perfect. I've got the video, the pictures up for the 123B, and I will ask the same question that I asked Joe. Is the range boost off or on?
Well, just for a scientific experiment, because you just did an on and off with the other gentleman's radio. This is on, and we're going to go to off right now. I haven't changed my voice at all. We're going to go back on, just like that.
Wow, big difference. When you turn it off, it's almost as though you step out of the room, and you become hard to copy. As you heard on Joe's, his audio got, the volume went down, but we could still copy with you. It's big difference. So you definitely need to keep that in the on position.
Yeah, I don't want to keep everyone up. Do we know, and I had a feeling that the difference, when he turned his range expand off, there was not that much of a difference. You could tell that he had done that. Is that difference, between his and mine? Could it be just because of the unamplified mic I'm using right now, or something else going on?
My guess would be one. It is a part of it is the unamplified microphone. You probably still need a little bit more audio, although it sounds fine to me. But you probably still need a little bit more audio, in addition to the range expand from what you have now to be close to 100% modulation. And there may be a setting on that range expand. It's in and out. So if it's just kicking in and out a capacitor or something, if it's actually a circuit, there may be some adjustment on that circuit, an amplification circuit that says, amplify it this much or amplify it that much, that you could go in there and tweak as well. So without knowing that, I'm going to say it's a combination of both items.
Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense. So, okay, I know it's super late, so I'll just kind of disengage on that comment. But thanks. These are all again just delightful radios to use, and I'm sure we're all grateful for the opportunity. So thanks, 73.
All right, I'm just looking at the Orban meter. I think on your other radio you're showing up at minus 17, and this at about minus 22. So the higher the number, or is that the lower the number if it's a minus? But anyway, 17. The higher the number, the more audio loudness. So I just think on this radio, you're starting out a little on the undermodulated side. So when you undo the audio expansion, that's what happens. So yeah, just if you had a little bit more smoke coming into the audio, I think you'd probably see the same difference that we were hearing on Joe. But that's not to say your audio is bad. With my signal and noise from where you are, you sound fine. But I'm assuming that you're going to be a little bit undermodulated to somebody way out there. You are Radio 13, Lucky 13 with the Robin T123B, and thanks for taking the opportunity to check it in. And just a note, Mitch says there is an adjustment inside on the top of the chassis. So, yeah, you might be able to blow a little bit of, speaking super radio terms here, to blow a little bit more smoke out of the range expand if it's not maxed already. So there may be an adjustment for that. Or let me put it this way. There is an adjustment for that. It just depends on if it's adjusted to the max or if you can get any more out of it. Okay.
I might give that a try. No, I do not have, for the record book, I do not have ferrets that might have eaten my plastic adjusting screwdrivers.
Well, we know that weasels have not ripped your flesh, so ferrets have not chewed on your radios. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
And not only be modern, get the totals of the radios checking in tonight.
This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. It's time now for the current OTR totals.
All right, current and final totals. The Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Whether we're on AM, FM, sideband, on the, looks like the Echolink is still up over here. We're going to try Echolink when we get done here tonight. SWLs, we had 15 on page 1, 19 on page 5, 13 on page 3, 25 on page 4. Page 4 is sort of stacked. I notice there's more possibilities on page 4. That's why they always do so well. Plus, when you're number 4, you try harder, right? 72 SWLs tonight in the radios. We had 13 total check-ins. Pretty good. Got hot and heavy at the end. And we started late, so we wanted to stay on there. Well, who was the most heard manufacturer tonight? Was it the Regencies? Well, they did okay, not, but they weren't the most heard. Helicopters? No. How about the General Radio telephones? We had a pair of those. But it was a tie between the Robins at 3 and the Brownings at 3. We'll go down the list. Started off with the Spitfire Cardone Mark XL, or the Mark 40 if you're into Roman numerals, X preceding the L. Mr. Green Arrow on that for a nice green radio. Radio number 2, Paul on the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. And there are a couple of them out there. I think just the MC11As could do a number here if they all wanted to gang up at the same time. Sounding good on that, Paul, with the stock microphonium. The Hallicrafters CB3A with all the accessories, the VFO and the S-meter for Radio 3, thanks to Jerry. Radio number 4, the Regency Range Gain 2. Just making me long for my Regency Imperial up here on the desk. Thanks, Paul, for that. That had the Regency sound. I mean, your Imperial sounds less like an Imperial than the Regency does. But that Regency was certainly demonstrating what double sideband suppressed carrier is all about. Radio number 5, Eric on the Courier Royale tonight. Fans of Courier do like that radio. Radio number 6, Chris on his General Radio Telephone Super MC11A, followed by Radio 7, Joe on the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223, our only E.F. Johnson night. There's a lot of E.F. Johnsons. They could be the most heard radio if they would, if they'd get their E.F. Johnson act together. Joe is ready. He's ready to add to the mix. And he's got 2 of them. So I see future episodes where the E.F. Johnsons are going to be the radio to beat. Radio number 8, Eric on the Browning Eagle R27S23, followed by Radio 9, Harvey on the Browning Lavatories Golden Beagle R68T68. Then Mike came in on his Browning R27S23 Eagle, Series 2. We know that one's a Series 2, I believe. And then the Eagles had landed, but the Robins found a spot in the tree. Radio 11, the Robin T123 from 47. Mike had that. Then Joe came by with his Robin T123B, warmed up and ready to go for Radio 12. And then Mike came back with his T123B. So just because the Eagles land doesn't mean that they're going to get the entire roost. 13 radios tonight, 72 SWLs, thanks to our station staying up very late tonight on the video site. I will go over and look at all the chats which I miss here, but I do look at them when I get a chance. The Echo link is still up, the conference for OTR, but I'm not exactly sure what you look for on the station list. I'm going to go to that and just chat a bit and work on that. If that works, might have a spot to have some of our listeners from afar at least get in on a quick audio check during the roll call. That would be cool. And I think it would work out well for that. The back and forth is kind of hard with the delay, but if you're getting in and I have it up, I would hear the station. So that looks like a possibility here, the way it's working. 73 to everybody. Sorry about the jingle bell reverb audio thing. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. I really think it's probably, I'll have to blame it. What do they say? I'll have to blame it on the strange happenings behind the window, out in the flora and fauna behind me. Thanks to SearchLawrence.com and Frodix for the Nixie tubes. Have a great rest of the week. I think spring has sprung, so go out and do whatever you do when it's springtime and do it well. The old Tube Radio Network saying 73 from beautiful Central California.
Thank you, Dennis, and thanks for the net. If you're on 10, I could use an audio check.
Yeah, here on the Ferrant Alignment frequency and the audio check frequency. Let's see. For what you're doing now, it's sounding pretty good, and then maybe we can move up. I'm going to go to Echo Link for a bit. And I'll keep the radios up. I think this one will play on, this will play on 10. You might be able to hear me and we can do an audio check there.
Hey, Dennis, I can't connect. For some weird reason, I can't connect to you on Echo Link.
You know why? Because I'm already connected and I don't think I'm allowing multiple connects, but it is not me. It is not me who you want to connect to. And I think, try it this way. Look for KA3TEB, Kilowatt Alpha 3 Tango Echo Bravo, and see if you can connect that way. Again, I'm not sure how to do it either because I thought you had to go to a conference. And I looked at all the conferences and I couldn't find them. So look for that. Yeah, because I'm not set up to be, I'm not the conference, as it were. So check that out. See if that works.
Okay. Yeah, I've connected to you before. I tried it with your call sign, and I've been doing it since you mentioned it earlier. And then it does say, up at the top of the screen, at least on my iPad, it's got your call sign. It says in conference, and then that other, what looks to be a call sign, the KA3, and then it says node. Yeah, maybe I should try with the node 94810.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll noodle around just for the heck of it.
Yes, try out that 94. I'm going to see if I can find that number, but I think that's what you want to do. You want to try. What is the Echolink node? Oh, no, wait. Try out 3. Write this down. Don't abandon that other one, but try out this one. It's 354-870. And yeah, you've connected to me before, but that's when I have no connection. I'm connected and I only allow one connection, so that's why you're getting the bounce out. So try the 354-870. Over. All right, I'm going to drop the video. Thanks, everybody. We'll do a little echo link and whatever else we're doing here on the Old Tube Radio Network, where it is 10:48. And it's only just begun. Good night, everybody.
You want to give me that number one more time, please?
We have a 3. It is in little small type way across the room here. It is 354. Make sure I got it right. I've got lights shining in my eyes. It's 354-870. Over.
Thanks, Dennis. Good net. Great job, and thanks for your patience.
Okay, despite my best efforts, I think we've done it. And can I to those on the audio stream?
Did you break the video?
Not yet. There's the HF radio
still
still
when
working.
you drop it.
HF radio is working, but it's not too great tonight. All right, good night, everybody. We'll catch you later on your Old Tube Radio Network.